Henry, you good? All right. Toho lady, you good? Domo hat, you good? All right. Hey, Dito, do you know what time it is?
Yes, KT, it is that time for us to announce the winners for Rainbow Dash in a Flash.
Ooh. So in this episode, we delve into another love diary, and older sister Maid's words move an entire nation, and the winners. Aren't you excited to find out who's coming up? So all that and more. The show begins in 3, 2,
I knocked my mic around.
1. It's time for the Ktdata Anime Podcast with Dito and Ktdata. The Ktdata Anime Podcast is brought to you by the Rainbow Dash in the Flash winners. Stay tuned to the show to find out if you won. Hey everybody, welcome to the Ktdata Anime Podcast, and I am a slightly drugged up Ktdata.
And I am a slightly domo-headed Dito.
And this is the podcast where we watch some anime and we just talk about it. And you can too. Just head on over to ktdata.net, check out the show notes, and we have links to go watch all the animes. So, Dito, how are you doing today? As you can see, I'm a little out of it.
Just a little, but I am super excited because we do get to announce our winners for our Rainbow Dash in the Flash contest. And
you gotta wait.
Stay tuned. You have to wait because, as much as I really want to spout out names for all our beautiful watchers out there who have been commenting. I'm not even sure if they've been commenting on the website. Actually, been commenting the crap out of our website for that.
Yep, that's called a tease, guys. See, I'm sort of professional. We know how to do teases and stuff, but yeah. So how are you doing, Dito? I haven't talked to you in at least a couple days.
Yeah, the last time we talked was at D's.
Yes. So you guys keep an eye out. Ktdata.net has some good stuff coming. Really good stuff. My wallet, on the other hand, won't appreciate it. So if you guys have never seen the Ktdata Anime Podcast, and why haven't you yet? Dito and I would sit here and talk about whatever on here. But the whole idea is that it's kind of a book club thing. So you got to watch the animes and then you can come and listen. And, if you do it live like Sparky is, you can sit in the chat room and just say, hey, KT, you dumb. And all that
or
good
poke
stuff.
Is for the fun of it, just
yeah, stuff like that. It's better than poking on Facebook, and
which people have been doing to me lately.
Yeah, so we're kind of almost in our home stretch. We only have a couple more episodes for this season right now, and then we'll finally be into spring, even though outside thinks it's still winter.
Well, at least here right now, I'm in. What is the temperature right now over here?
I don't want to think about
degrees.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it. I'm just lucky the studio lights keeps everything warm here.
That's what Domo's doing for me right now.
That, and I'm naked from the waist down.
Camera. Pictures didn't happen. Pictures or didn't happen.
No way. I'm going to leave that to your imagination.
So again, emails to ktdata.net.
Yeah, so before this goes down a very dark path, let's just go into our first anime. And our first anime is Ashura, and it's brought to you by Equivalent Exchanged. One crumpled notebook equals one date, 30 minutes with another girl equals 3 minutes of on there. So, last episode, Eita sports some Star Wars. Masuzu is trying to dig up some dirt. On Ai's mysterious, possibly fabricated boyfriend, and the best charm ever. Meow, meow, meow. I swear you put that in just to make me do that, didn't you?
Yes. As soon as I actually saw that, I'm like, yes, KT's good at saying this again.
So the one thing that you'll notice if you've watched any of Ashura is the beginning of Ashura. There are 4 girls, and so far we've only had 3 girls. So our final competitor has entered the ring. And her name is Yamasaki, right? Wasn't it? Or Yama something.
We're professional here at Ktdata, and we have names, all of them for you.
Yeah, there we go. So that's the nice thing about it is she actually shows up, and following the similar trend of Eita right there, she also has a diary. What's in the diary, Tito?
Well, he's kind of one of those people that likes to fantasize just like it does. But the best part of this one is that she's completely fantasizing about Eita.
Ooh. And then I love it because I think one of our previous episodes of Kita, I introduced you to Wub, you know, on here. And I guess it's caught on in Japan because Wub shows up many times in this notebook.
It's like, what, 2 pages?
Yeah. You just got a Wubba guy, man. That's all I gotta say.
Gotta give a little whoop.
Oh, they're so
I'm not sued for copyright.
Yeah. So you wonder because she, if you've seen Ai from previous episodes, she's the crazy hall monitor that tried to shut down Shane Fag. It's really weird to say Shane Fag, but okay. On there, and we learned a little bit of history behind it, where She-Look was another childhood friend. Can you kind of see a pattern developing, Dito? We have 3 childhood friends now.
From back when he was in kindergarten, star class. So that means she is the oldest childhood friend.
I don't know. What's her face? Says they're lovers from the past life. So Hime.
Yes, Hime is the lover from the other dimension or life
or in that MMO they were playing together.
Some reason like that would sound bad.
Well, the funny thing is we're kind of making fun of her that she fell in love with him over an MMO, but we just got over an anime where these 2 people meet in an MMO and they try to meet in real life, and one of them's in a coma.
Still. And he has to go back in the MMO
into another MMO,
and somehow she becomes absolutely useless in the second half. Yeah,
and then somehow that is not as funny as Hime because she did it in a PSP game.
Somehow she's managed to put I Love You in a PSP game. So I give her props about that. Honestly, I give Hime props for that.
You haven't done that before, Dito?
No, not in my party. I have named Disgaea characters that.
So I guess that's not socially acceptable. Okay, noted.
Duly noted.
Duly noted on there. And then, okay, so this is another thing that I'm starting to hate with this anime. You know? So, you know, here at the Kita Anime Podcast, we like to yell out a specific type of episode. And it's usually, beach episode!
Yes, so but before that, you have to do one thing before a beach episode, and that is shopping for swimsuits.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the one thing I wanted to bring up with that is they keep promising this beach episode, but as each episode ends, it doesn't seem like they're going to make it to the beach. Other things just seem to come up, like the club getting canceled, and then something else that we'll kind of discuss a little bit later on in the episode. And, you know, I'm kind of scared that we might not get this beach episode, or it's going to be like an OVA that they'll release like 6 months later. Like, how do you feel about this, Dito? They're teasing us with the beach episode.
Yes. Honestly, 2 words. Give it.
Do you say that often?
Emails at ktdata@ktdata.net.
Oh, all right. So there's a lot of fan service in these 2 episodes, I have to say, and I loved it. I loved every single bit of it because you kind of see all the possibilities stirring up in there and all the good things that's happening on there.
No, I know the exact reason why you liked all the fan service, because you guys see what Hime was hiding.
Oh my god! Stay calm.
You knew I was going to
go there. Stay calm, Eita. Stay calm.
I love his reaction to that. Like, she's always had those.
Her character never resembled that. Her avatar never resembled that in the games. Oh my god. But what's interesting though is actually the end of the episode 10 where Aunt Seiko shows up, and she totally sees through this fake facade between Eita and Masuzu on there, and then she's like, "All right, tell me the truth. Which one of these girls do you actually love?" And I'm like, "Ooh." So I kind of just wanted to spend some time, Dito, to kind of ask you, what do you think is really going to happen? Because we're on episode 10, and there's only 3 more episodes. You know, we're past this happy-go-lucky, and I think this is the catalyst for that final climax of the series to, you know, come to that resolution. We're no longer in the happy times.
Well, the one thing I have been noticing is that during the episode, you see that the 3 girls, like Chiwa, and Hime, they already know that they're in love with Eita, and each one knows that each one is in love with him too. Excuse me. So I have a feeling that they may, like, they've been getting along, because you've seen like the whole she was talking about they wanting to go to the fireworks show and everything, but then somehow Hime like emails them or texts them about something they were talking about. Like, they are in contact with each other. So
maybe they just have ESP with each other, Dito.
Maybe that's too.
We have
women
ESP
instinct and all. Anyways,
we don't have women instinct, but we have ESP.
Absolute war. I see absolute war happening right there, or that somehow he's going to choose. Like, I think this is the deciding factor. He's going to have to probably choose.
Are you sure he's going to choose, though? I really like.
I think he's going to book it.
I think they're going to take the easy way out of this anime, to be honest with you, and it's just going to
harem.
It's going to
like. Well, it's not gonna end with him making a decision. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna end up like a Tenchi one, where it's just like, you know, here's everyone. We all love you, Tenchi, and we all love you, Eita. Sorry.
That's hurtful, Dito. It's hurtful. It's respectful to the original, right?
Well, your Tenchi is being covered by your plush.
Well, my Fuku is looking at you in disappointment. She's sitting here. But
well,
no,
my Kenioki is back there looking at something else.
Yeah, so bored. But no, like I think it's just going to end in a static state. But the question is, who's going to be the one that's going to be emotionally impacted in these next 3 episodes? And I don't think, you know, I'd probably say it's easy to say that would be Chiwa on here, but I really think it's going to be Masuzu. You know, because she is still kind of the outcast. That's the funny thing, is because you think about the first episode, and the reason why she started this fake facade anyway is because she felt like the outcast. People were just staring at her, asking her out. You know, she kind of stood out of the crowd. That's why she kind of started dating Eita, to kind of normalize that, get those people away. And look what's turned up. You know, 3 of Eita's childhood friends, they all have different memories from spending time with him at various degrees. But Masuzu, on the other hand, she still treats this as kind of a fake facade, and, you know, they really haven't gone on a date or anything, or done anything that would be considered memorable on there. And, you know, Eita is going to probably say something stupid, because he's the biggest airhead in the world, worse than Tenchi, and I didn't think that was possible, but it's possible. I really don't, like, would you really want this kid as your doctor if he's this much of an airhead?
Yes.
Just saying. And he's going to say something that he thought was, you know, nonchalant, trying to settle a situation. No bitch slaps. And then Masuzu's going to go into depression for 2 episodes. And then it's going to be resolved in the end. And then they're all going to end up living in the same house or something like that. It's not going to be like Tenchi GXP, where
that doesn't exist.
The kid gets married.
Tokyo doesn't exist.
Yeah, Tokyo doesn't exist. GXP exists, where I forgot what his name is. Tenchi's cousin ends up marrying all of them for political purposes. I don't think that's going to happen, but, you know.
For polygamy purposes. I mean, yes, political.
That's a good one right there. So, you know, I'm excited to see what happens in these 3 episodes, because that's the weird thing, is you kind of lose track of time when you're actually watching Ashura, Because remember when we were talking about it, like we thought they were rushing it at the beginning, and now I kind of feel like, oh my god, the anime is almost over already. And
I still kind of feel that it's, well, not necessarily rushing, but I still kind of feel like it's been going at the same pace.
I don't know. It seems a little slower to me now. It goes from where you have those big conflicts, and then now it kind of going back to they're still introducing new characters and stuff in there, and like kind of fleshing each character out, where normally you'd see that at the beginning of the series and not near the end.
I think honestly, like in the end, I really see it just not really making a conclusion. They're just kind of be like your standard harem ending, where they're just kind of like, as you said, just living in the same house at that point for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I just want my beach episode. That's all I want, Beach episode. How's that too much to ask?
Apparently.
All right, let's go on to our next anime, and yeah, you gotta do this right here. La 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 la. Anime Mao Yuusha, and it's brought to you by
rocks. Keep them piled for a good stoning time.
Oh yeah. So Dito, what happened in our last episode?
Last episode, discovery of the printing press. Woohoo! Demons and humans can coexist, and the Demon King gets his DMV license renewed. Wait.
Sort of. So it's kind of like the normal DMV where you gotta wait in line for like 3 gazillion hours. Yeah, she's in line right now at the DMV.
So it's not the driver of motor vehicles, for those who actually know what it means. I actually know people don't, but it's the demon motivated
venue.
Venue.
Demon motivated venue.
demon motivated venue.
Oh yeah. All right. So last 2 episodes we kind of left off the Central Kingdoms were, they're feeling the effects of what the Demon King was doing, taking away power from the people who are rich on there. So they're like, we need to take care of this problem right here, or we're not going to be in power anymore. And we like being in power because we're in power.
Because being in power makes you rich.
Yeah. So they kind of labeled her as a heretic. And what was interesting about this episode is that we know that the Demon King is not there. The older sister maid is playing doppelganger, so we know she's going to play a big role. And there's this amazing speech that happens. And what is interesting, Dito, if you notice in episode 9, there's almost only 2 scenes in there. There's the scene at the beginning before she goes and makes the speech, and then there's the scene where she gets arrested and is talking to people right there.
During this whole time, I was kind of intrigued because, like, the plan. Obviously, you knew the plan was between Hiro and the older maid sister. I think
older sister maid.
Older sister maid. Sorry, I had it backwards. Oh man, I even screwed up a name here.
Wow, we picked this anime so you wouldn't screw up a name.
And I screwed up a name. Wow. Anyways, like, you can tell the plan was that she's going to get arrested. Then as the hero goes, or as she gets taken away and everything, the hero's going to come save her, and then they're going to run off and everything, so that the central or the Winter King doesn't get in trouble or
screwed, because you don't want the Central Kingdoms, because the Central Kingdom's dominant power right now, and there's only these 3 kingdoms in the southern country that are relatively poorer, that they need the support from the Central Kingdom.
Yeah, and even with the Demon King / Scholar has been trying to send out all the agriculture or the new ways of agriculture, and like the printing press, getting mass media, improving their technology and their education, that they're starting to become more self-sufficient, and then they even kind of breaking away from it, and they even see, the Central Kingdom's been seeing that. So, but the thing about when the Central Nation was coming to arrest the Scholar / I'm going to just call her Scholar for right now, so it's kind of what they're calling her. since they're trying to arrest a scholar, which is the head sister maid, she makes that speech, and like KT, honestly, like, didn't that move you?
It was honestly an amazing speech on there, and I wasn't really expecting it. Like, that's why I kind of mentioned that it was only one episode or one, like, 2 scenes in the whole thing, is because I don't know where that came from. It kind of just it was moving and powerful, and you think it would be something that the Demon King kind of left for her to say, but no, it was her story. How she started off as a surf. Wow, thank you, Colloids. Surf on there, and how she kind of made it into a respectable position where everybody kind of like loved her and enjoyed what she did and helping out and all that good stuff right there. So I think it was really, really interesting, and it was powerful, you know, where it talks about how we have free will. And that is one thing, again, back to this kind of whole theme of how to end a war. Part of it is that sometimes when you're in these totalitarian kind of rule countries, people are ruled by fear. And that's how it's been. That's how it happened in the medieval ages right there was, you have all these rich landowners and these serfs where they really didn't have any motivation other than to survive. So they did what they needed to, which was working for all these lords on there. And this is kind of introducing more of a self-sufficient kind of thing where that everybody's on equal grounds, because we see that the Southern Triad nations, due to the things that the Demon King has kind of introduced, like the potato and the crop rotations, they have more than enough food for everybody. So they don't necessarily need to rely on this model anymore, where all the serfs can kind of be free and kind of do what they want to do. And you have this education that's coming in with the printing presses now that can be distributed, and you see this form of paper that is a bit more sturdy. And because like they talk about papyrus, and if you've ever seen papyrus, it's kind of like they take the papyrus plant and kind of mash it together, and it sort of looks like paper, but it's not as strong and sturdy as what we think as paper. It's not what you wouldn't put it in a copy machine or anything like that. On there, and it kind of just shows you like how her words inspired this nation right here, and it's done 2 things. One, it's united the Southern Triad nations because they loved what she did, and they believed the words on there. Which in turn kind of defies against the Central Nation, who, kind of is the bully in the situation where they can been able to push everybody around. And that was one of the things. And the other thing was actually to kind of topple this lordship system that they've been turning on. The serfs are like, yeah, we have freedom. We can kind of go with that on there. And so you have this slight internal struggle and this slight external struggle, but I don't think this internal struggle is going to be that much of a deal right there because of what happened. Because remember what we said is they're trying to end a war in an alternative method where it doesn't result into another war, which in the big picture this kind of is, but in the country it's not, since everybody is provided for the most part, so they don't have to fight against each other on the lands. But now they're trying to get past this old rule where these 3 nations now are kind of, the Central nations kind of declared war against them on there. And so
it's also put up another part too, is that when they declared war, they said basically, you have like X amount of time in order to comply. But at the same time, you saw like I want to say that the merchants didn't see this coming. So then they had an idea. And this has created that time that we know as supply and demand. So they started like buying up all the like different materials, different like more wheat and everything. You saw prices start going up because someone comes in and is like going, oh yeah, it's like 15 silver for this, but that guy got it just for 4, and this guy got it for 6. It's like, and they bought like 20 bags of it, and it's like going, nope, it's now 6.5. It's like going with that. It's like you saw it, supply and demand.
Yeah,
and that brought up like more problems too, because at the same time, by raising prices in one nation, you're going to start going outside the nation. Start trying to go.
You're gonna have to import more in because it's becoming more scarce. he creates this artificial scarcity because a lot of it's just in his warehouses now, and he's able to sell what he has at a higher price on there, and it actually causes the Central Nations to panic because remember the Central Nations are kind of the rich people, the Gangnam. If you know the kind of story behind Gangnam Style, or are probably our version of Beverly Hills, where all the rich people are and everything, and this scarcity right now. Even the better off lords, they're starting to get to the point where they can't even afford to buy it. So it's turning this nation on edge. And normally they would rely on these southern countries who are poorer than them to export all their stuff and benefit them. But in this case, since now the southern countries actually have an excess, they can actually, they have more of a bargaining. Now they're issuing export tariffs on there, which causes less to be exported out because it's expensive now to export the grains out. That way they can kind of make sure they'll have enough food during the winter and not starve. And you can see this shift of power. And that's kind of what sparked this war right here, is because the Central Nations know it. They know that this is what the worst thing that they were imagining is they're really going to lose power in this situation. And
there's also another case too, is that because of the light god or the light spirit was saying, or they're trying to use like the power of the church and everything to influence the government in saying that the light spirit said that the demon king or that the scholar is a heretic, so they try to establish a new church, a new organization called the true teachings of the light spirit, which, as we saw the knight, is also a nun, and she declared the scholar as a saint. So that means that right there alone making people question even the church's teachings around this. So.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't think they would do it, but they brought in the theological divide, kind of how all these it mirrors how got all these Protestant churches from the Catholic Church back in the Middle Ages too, and it's going to be interesting because now by doing that they don't have the ability to use a holy crusade as their power, so it's taken that power away from them. So like the Central Nations are losing power left and right now, and they're scared. So what do you do when you're scared? You declare war on it and try to stomp it down before it gets out of control. I think it's a little too out of control already for them to stop. So
I thought it was more like you just go and poke them and say, play nice.
Yeah. The problem is they don't have the leverage anymore to do that. So they have to declare war on here. So I'm interested to see. And the thing is, though, remember, we were trying to stop a war, and now we're starting another war right here. So the hero is trying to come up with this idea, and he just needs some time. So no sides will lose any lives at all. So this is going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah,
because we're down to 2 episodes left too.
Well, the biggest problem about this is that he's trying to not lose people, so he needs as much time as possible. But the Winter King only says he can give him like 4 weeks or 4 months.
Yeah, or 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah.
So, and right. that's barring if there's snow to slow down the armies. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to do. I honestly, this is going to be the catalyst on there, because we also see hints that I don't know how this is going to fit in, but the central city, the gateway city, and the demon world right now is short on salt. So I don't know how that, because it's a side story right there, but I don't know how that's going to actually bring it back into the main story. So I get this feeling that by the end of Mao, it's going to be, doesn't matter if you're in the demon world, if you're in the human world, demons and humans are going to be living together, kind of in harmony, or this could be catastrophic.
And have salt.
Yeah, and have salt. So it's going to be, I think this is going to be really interesting on how they're going to end this, because remember, Dito, when we first thought, we thought we were going to see like more of an action anime, and it's taken this bizarre path to being the opposite of what we were actually
honestly. No, when I first started, I kind of had this like another anime out there called Spice and Wolf. I kind of felt that was where it's going, and all of a sudden it just kind of went that direction in the exact same manner as Spice and Wolf, where it was more of like a storytelling anime about like actual things and actual events, kind of not quite true to history events, but kind of ways of retelling the historical events.
So I'm super excited to see how this is going to end because we're literally down to 2 episodes, right?
Yeah,
Two.
this is 12er and our Ashura is 13.
Yeah, so we're almost done, and I'm really excited to see how this ends. Plus, I want to see if the Demon King makes it out because this was almost like an afterthought. But the reason the way the Demon King is the way she is because she actually didn't stay in the chamber in the standard amount of time. She only stayed in there enough to get some of the power. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out too.
Yeah, because what they were talking about in there is that when she gets all the power, it's not that she's not going to be in control of herself, but what they're doing is the Demon Kings of the past is going to pretty much not possess her, but be like
Brainwash
able,
her.
yeah,
Almost.
basically just brainwash her. Yeah,
Wait,
so
wait,
she may not be herself, but she is herself.
yeah, which I think is interesting because I didn't think an anime this short would just have a main character disappear for so long. And they've done it already. Like they've made Hero disappear for a good chunk of time, and now they're making the Demon King disappear for a good chunk of time. And the thing is, like, you don't even like there's not this like gaping hole when they do it. So it means like they have a good supporting cast where you're equally as interested in the supporting cast as in the main characters, which in this case would be the hero and the Demon King, because that's why they call it Mao Yusha. On there. But
Which is
so
the hardest name in the entire series, and I still
yeah,
managed to screw up an easy name.
yeah, and I wrote it down too. Like it's here.
Yeah, I know it's there. I just didn't read it because you know how often I read the
Yeah.
notes here. I just kind of be like, "Oh, this is brought to you by that."
Yeah. All right, Dito. So this is the time where people have been waiting for. We are ready to announce the winners to our Rainbow Dash in a Flash contest. So that means 2 people will be winning a flash drive each right here. We have it right here. And first of all, before we announce the winners, I would like to say thank you to everybody who entered. I think we had 80 entries on there. So that's a better turnout than any of our previous contests that we had. So thank you very much, guys, for entering into that. Thank you to Mimoko, Jessica from Mimoko and the company over there for actually sending us these so we can send them out to winners on there. If you guys like these kind of flash drives and stuff, go check their stuff out at mimoko.com or Mimobot, or just, go on their Facebook page or tweet them and say, hey, thanks for, supporting ktdata.net and helping them do giveaways and stuff. We appreciate it, Share some love to them too.
Share some love with them, and also if we get any more with them too, like if whatever kind of giveaways we usually get from these companies that we talk to, either CES, AX, or any other conventions that we head out to, we generally will start giving it to our fans.
Yeah.
So keep your eye out on our Facebook page or check us out on our website ktdata.net. We'll be posting any more contests. Or even watch us on our Kita live broadcast.
Yeah.
Because we talk about random stuff. We always talk about like stuff we can give away. I mean, KT has like a box of stuff where it's just like, take.
Like,
even I have a bunch of stuff here. I'm just like, you want this? Well, let's go. Let's see who can get it.
Yeah, the last thing I need is more stuff in my house.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like anything we get from like the stuff we got from CES, we still got like bags of that stuff and literal bags.
So, all right, Dito, let's announce the winner for our Rainbow Dash flash drive right here.
Alrighty, Rainbow Dash, it goes to the White Coons. That is going to be Austin Coons.
And if you are actually frequent on our Facebook page at facebook.com/ktdatanet, you will notice that he actually posts a lot. He's one of our more active page members, I guess is the term for that. And he talks with us a lot. So I'm glad. Congratulations, man. You will be getting this shortly. And then, of course, like I said, we had 2. So I have Twilight Sparkle right here. And the winner to the Twilight Sparkle one is actually one Jimmy DeGun on Twitter. He tweeted it out to all his friends and whatnot. Congratulations. I have actually known Jimmy DeGun from quite some time. He's been following me from probably the earliest days. So he probably's known me from when I was like, there's a webcam in front of me on there. So The one thing I'm going to actually ask Jimmy is this going to him or is it going to his little girl? I have a feeling it's going to him instead of his little girl.
But another note too, I've been asked before, like the reason why if we don't do anything international, the main reason why we don't do international is just because we don't get much people from outside the United States and Canada actually talking with us, or like we don't see much geographic locations in those. If by chance,
and shipping's expensive,
but if we see anyone interested outside the country, outside the United States and Canada that really want to start entering this too, send us emails. Let us know.
Let us know you're out there. Yeah, we really want to know if you're out there.
Yeah, next contests out there. I would love to start doing international. It's like I'm willing to pay the cost to get that stuff out to you guys, just because you are fans that want to listen to us. Just send an email to kita@ktdata.net, and if we hear a good response to, maybe in the next few contests, and it will start going international. You never know.
Yep. So congratulations to both the White Coons and Jimmy DeGun. I will be contacting you right after the show to get your addresses so I can ship these straight out to you on there. And then of course, ktdata.net. Post our anime Salt Lake stuff will be up there by the end of this week. And then, I'll be going back to getting our CES stuff. We still have some really good interviews at CES that I'm going to get out on there. Dito, do you have anything on the site that you are going to pimp out soon?
I will be doing a couple more. I still got to do my Neptunium review because I've been procrastinating that. You'll be seeing soon about my Black Rock Shooter sweater from Snowflake Designs, which is one of my friends, Koru. I'll be posting that one really soon. I just got to finish those ones. And also thank you to my model, Karai, Fisher's Karai, who modeled the sweater.
She saved our bacon a couple times already.
Yeah. And thank you all for all the support you've been giving us. And just continue. Like, if you have anything else, just go ahead and leave us a message on our Facebook page or even on our websites. And again, email us at akita@ktdata.net, or any other plugs you want to do. Twitter too.
Twitter at KTData on there. And if you guys don't watch live, you should watch live. The chat room's always there, and we're always talking to stuff. And I love seeing people in the chat room on there. So check that out. Our next live recording will be April 23rd, 2013. And you can also just head on over to ktdata.net/live to watch it then. And then other than that.
Also, April 23rd is Black Rock Shooter PSN download.
Ooh. So thank you guys for listening to this episode of Kita Anime Podcast. Dito, always a blast. Like, I don't know where the time goes when we do this.
It's called Kita.
Yep. All right, guys. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye. Oh, we missed the laugh. There it is.